Alrighty. Just like that. Oh wow, that achievement on Xbox is like 87%. So I'll keep that in mind for the Suicide Squad game. Alrighty. Let's see. Let me just make sure. I got that. Here we go. What's going on, ladies and gents? It is I, the host who does it the most, Lit Like 96. Okay, there we go. Let me just type that in IG. Okay, let's see. Now that I think it over, I am unable to see my YouTube chat like this. Okay, I'm starting to realize that seeing the YouTube chat is probably going to be a lot more useful on what you call it. It's probably going to be a lot more useful on my phone than it is streaming through XSplit. I'm starting to realize that I could have actually did this. I'm starting to see what the issue is. I'm starting to see what the issue is on this. Actually, give me like a second. Let me see. Yeah, before I do anything, let's see. So what was there? What the? Okay, you know what? Question things later. Sorry about that, folks. There we go. Alrighty. Well, no use bitching and griping. Let's get to it. So, in today's little live stream / video, I'm actually going to do a live reaction to a Reddit reaction video. Now, keep in mind, I usually tend to read these stories directly off of Reddit, which I'll still do at some points later down the road for various streams and or video entertainment. But I sometimes prefer the videos from other YouTubers, just so it's like quick and easy to read, and I'm not stuttering over shit. Don't get me wrong, I'll make videos like these guys whenever I can. Like, it's not even that big of a deal. It's just a simplistic matter of, okay, hey, look, I just don't feel like setting the whole shit up right now. But anyway, without further ado, today's video is going to be from Lost Genre. I highly recommend this guy. I've watched like a ton of his videos. I came across him like a couple months back. But yeah. Don't know why that's queued twice. Let's remove that from the playlist. We're only just gonna watch the one video. Now I'll say this: most of his judgments on some of these stories are actually pretty good, but so far I've come across like 3 or 4 videos where he kind of gives like very weird judgment, and this is one of those videos. This is one of those videos. Some of the stuff I've listened to, I've just sat there and was like, opinions differ and whatnot, but I don't know. No, but I'll let y'all There's a cause and effect behind that situation. Excuse me while I just share this to my Instagram story. Okay, let me see right quick. Okay, let me click share, copy link. Okay. Where is that playlist on IG? God, it's been so long since I actually scrolled and posted anything. Okay. And then let me just go into my broadcast section. Y'all better start subscribing to my YouTube channel left and right. I mean that. Tell your friends and whatnot. But most importantly, come to live. I'm live right now. I'm about to react to a Reddit story. Sorry, I had to leave a voice memo. Let's see. Okay. Okay, you know what? I'm just going to get rid of that. We'll worry about that for when I'm like streaming on video games and whatnot. I did a test stream earlier and that was working. Screw it. So I'll just use my phone. Okay, let me just make sure I got this on deck. Okay. Sorry about that. Wanted to make sure I just got this shit all across social media. Yeah, I rarely post on Twitter. I rarely do. Alrighty. Sorry about that. Let's get this out the way because it's like damn near 12:30 and I got work in the morning. So, without further ado, here we go.
Hi everybody, and welcome back to Lost Genre Reddit Stories. This post is from the subreddit Relationship Advice, and it's by user mjike12. Wife, 30 female, did a very sexy boudoir shoot as a favor to her photographer friend and me, 30 male. I accidentally found out she did some of the pics with another guy, early 20s. I honestly don't know what to do.
Okay, look, we're diving into this off rip. Just the title alone is already a flag, and it's like damn near instant grounds for divorce. But I'm just saying, some people do need a title. Like you ever just have like those moments where it's like you come across like a Reddit story, and before you even read it, you just instantly read the title and think, okay, why don't you just leave this relationship? Like, just dead ass. It's either because the context is worded a certain way, or it's not going to go the way that they wanted. So let's just dive into this.
This is such a complicated issue, so I will do my best to make it complete but short. My wife is great friends with one of our city's high-end wedding photographers named Gina, 60s or so. She is supremely talented and also a nice person. We have gotten huge discounts on everything from weddings to babies to family pictures. My wife recently lost all her baby weight and became really fit by following a low carb diet and doing a natural movement workout plan. Gina asked her to come to do a boudoir shoot for her so she could put my wife's pictures on her website as an example of a fit, sexy mom. We had many discussions, and I was all for it right from the beginning because it's hot. My wife was worried about employers or friends and family seeing them, but eventually she figured she'd worked hard, there would be no nudity, and what the hell. It's very important to know we talked about this nightly for at least a week and went over every eventuality, and I thought everything was on the table. So, the pictures are stunning. Gina hired a spectacular makeup artist and my wife looked like a supermodel. I mean, they are spectacular pictures, minimal Photoshop too. When the pictures went up on the site, Gina sent me a very classy hardbound book of pictures with a note, "Thank you for being so cool with this. This is one of my favorite things I've ever done." It's important to
So let's start with the basics. Husband and wife married for a couple years, recently had a newborn. Born. What? Wife's friends with the photographer. The photographer friend is in her 60s. Let's just establish that. But most important of it all, key component here, people. Husband and wife talked this shit out.
note the timeline here. Pictures were taken. Then a month later, the pictures went on the website. And a month after that, I got the book. Now, my wife is out of town with the baby to visit her mom and dad, and I got an email from Gina which basically said, "I wanted you to go through these digital proofs to see if there are any others you like." It's actually a link to a secure site where I have a username and password. So I logged in and all the first series of pictures were variations on ones I'd already seen. Lingerie, implied nude, gym wear, and the like. Then it got into a series of full nude pictures, which I was like, awesome, why didn't these make it into my book? When I clicked the next page, I could clearly see that in the thumbnails there were two people. I opened one and it's my wife in a sort of embrace that looked like the cover of a romance novel. The guy also looked like a model and was super ripped. With these, I was like, okay, but with all the discussions we had, why didn't she say there would be a guy there? I'd say that series is 50 pictures long with each one getting more and more risque. My wife ends up going from like a business suit to just her panties. The guy has his underwear on in all of them, but in certain pictures he's lying on top of her to look like he's kissing her neck. His hands are definitely on her breasts. He's holding her from behind with his hand just out of shot but implied he's touching her crotch. By far the worst is the last picture where it's just a picture of her butt with his face and the top of her thong in his teeth sort of pulling it away from her body.
Ah, my God. This is a whole nightmare on Elm Street. Just, I swear, I've seen so many stories. I actually read a Reddit story like this several months back. I think I want to say like maybe even a year or two back in like maybe late. 2022, early 2023, give or take. And it was like, the wife was actually sleeping with the photographer, and the photographer was making like side money off of like the chick's nudes and shit. But it was like, but what you call it? You ever notice that like a lot of women always say they want to do stuff like this, get some space, do some shit that empowers themselves and whatnot, but then it's always like, I want to do intimate slash couple stuff with other men that's not my boyfriend or husband. I'm just peeping that out. Just peeping that out. This is already not a good thing. Like, keep in mind, husband and wife had talked about this from the very get go, okay? But the problem here, the big problem here, they had talked about this to a decent extent. The decent extent, but what you got under the impression that it was just going to be some solo nude shots, basing her, making her look like a Playboy centerfold or some shiz like that. That was the gist of it. And then things took a turn for the worse, and we're gonna see. Yeah.
I looked at the pictures absolutely stunned for 30 minutes. I emailed Gina saying basically, Gina, what is this? This is way more than I thought it was going to be. She has not replied, and I tried to log back in, and my password has been changed, and Gina won't send me another one. I tried to call my wife, but she hasn't answered and says she's too busy to talk. I texted I had questions about what went on the photo shoot, and she replied at first, sexiness, you like? Now she's not responding at all, so my guess is Gina told her about the slip up and she doesn't know what to tell me. I'm lost, like literally lost.
Keep in mind, they always respond with some shit like that, with some coy cutesy shit like that. It truly baffles my mind. Like, hey, this is not what the fuck we agreed upon. You care to explain this? And they're just sitting there. They're like, yeah, you like it? Be like, no, I don't like the fact that there's another dude like literally copping a feel all over you.
My wife had so many chances to tell me this was the plan if it was that all along. I don't even think I would have said an outright no, but just asked for some boundaries, like don't have the guy's lips near your ass or second base. If my wife didn't know and Gina sprung this on her, why didn't she say no or even enforce her own boundaries? It looked like she was having a great time in the pictures.
Now let's keep note of what he says. Why didn't she enforce her own boundaries? A lot of women tend to not do this or pick and choose how to enforce their boundaries in relationships. I've seen this one too many times. And it's like, it's always the ones that are in relationships that kind of like do an instant 180 with their boundaries. They'll put up boundaries for their lovers or their husbands or their spouses, but they'll never do that with like the guys that they're intimate with. Like the girl who, like, say your girl got a whole bunch of male friends. She refuses to like enact those boundaries. Oh, but you're my boyfriend. Okay, cool. Go tell those other guys that and knock it the fuck off. Simple shit. But she'd rather die the most horrendous death in a horror movie than actually do that. Like,
If these are the ones Gina accidentally sent me, are there more? Do they get like literal hardcore? My wife is probably panicking as well right now, as I assume Gina is. Neither will speak to me. My wife comes home Sunday morning. How do I even begin to have this conversation with her? What do I say when I see her?
Well, one, screw the Sunday morning thing. She lied to you. I'm sorry, but this is the problem in today's society. Like, a lot of dudes, due to like the whole way that feminism has kind of like gone nowadays, it's like they're too scared to confront their significant other. There's when they're like crossing boundaries that make them uncomfortable in the relationship. And I think that's kind of like the problem. It's like, oh, what you call? I felt bad about going through her phone, and it's so weird because like the way women kind of like flip the rules on that shit. Like, think about it, folks. Think about it. If my girlfriend says she wants to go through my phone, I can't even blink without even just like, I just have to give it up. But if I have to do it instantly, and all of a sudden I'm invading her privacy. See, but mine wasn't in like the cards for that one. You see how that is?
Oof, OP, this is a very difficult situation to be in. I'd be probably as lost as you, and I would have a lot of questions, apart from being upset. Now, the way I see it, these aren't PI pictures that they took of your wife cheating on you or anything like that. This is a photo shoot, which means that the whole thing is staged. But the way both your wife and Gina have reacted means or tells me that they're.
This is another key thing I really need to point out when it comes to like that whole mindset of like a photo shoot. Ladies, you can get your boyfriend or husband to take these kinds of photos for you. It's actually like an intimate activity. Like, I don't get it. Like, I think the problem with like so many women in today's society is that they're so eager to exclude their man because for some mystical reason they need space from him. But again, like I said earlier, they'll go out of their way to go do some intimate couple type shit with another dude. I don't know. No, I truly wish women would actually just kind of like sit there and communicate more openly than men, because like the moment you get a yes, you just the textbook definition of the phrase "give an inch, they take a mile."
hiding something, and I think they need to come clean to you. So I would ask my wife, please come home or call me through FaceTime or whatever as soon as you
Yeah,
can,
no, he needs
because
to
we
confront
need to
that shit.
talk. I would advocate that the best conversation would be face to face, but if she is very far away and she can't travel back until Sunday, maybe have some sort of FaceTime or something like that. But until then, I wouldn't jump to any conclusions because again, this was a photo shoot. So what do you guys think? What would you do if you were in OP's shoes? Let me know in the comment section, and now let's move on to the community comments to see what they said. Tetrafy says, for the first time on this sub, I am at a loss as what to say to you. This was super not cool. There was no way your wife didn't know there would be another guy ahead of time, as your friend is a professional photographer and I would assume goes about her job in a professional manner. I wouldn't doubt she intentionally didn't tell you. As for the reasons why she did it in the first place, I am also unsure. All I can say is that you and her need to have a serious talk and figure out what you're going to do about this. This was a major trust violation, and I can definitely see why you're upset. I would be too. XL Doormat says, the fact that they aren't talking to you speaks volumes.
This right here, like let's just take a brief moment to like dissect this. Ladies, if you ain't got shit to hide, come the fuck clean. Because if a man has to hear it from somebody else, or we find that shit on our own, and we literally are confronted, and they start confronting you about it, rather than getting defensive, rather than doing X, Y, and Z, just fucking tell the truth. You already been caught in one lie. Anything further is just only going to enhance the problems with it.
Not believe you're going to hear the whole truth and nothing but the truth. The lack of communication at this point should prevent any belief you have in what they decide to tell you. I can't imagine going through this while kept in a damn silo. Best of luck, and I hope you find out enough of the truth to make a good decision. Deleted says, your wife definitely knew everything the shoot was going to entail and kept it from you. Gina probably didn't know that you were in the dark about it, and your wife told her just to put pictures of her in your book. I would definitely want to know who the guy is, what contact was made, and did the guy see her nude? It seems like the answer to that is probably yes. Sorry you're in this crappy situation, and it's even crappier that your wife won't even face you and talk about it.
I swear, this comment rings better than the last one. So many women sit there and tell men to be a man and like put up with my bullshit, but a lot of women refuse to put their big girl panties on and just sit there and say, okay, you know what, let me at least face him and tell him what the fuck is up. I'm just saying, secrecy, man. Y'all women gotta stop with that.
Well, the community isn't giving OP too much advice more than jumping to conclusions. Anyways, let's move on with the update to see what happened next. So, I've been sweating since I first saw the pictures I wasn't supposed to see on Wednesday. Almost zero contact with my wife. Part of this was she was busy, part of it was because they were at a lake, and part of it, she admits now, is she was avoiding the conversation. My wife decided to come home early, so 3 hours or so ago now, I got a call from her saying, I'm on my way home, we have a lot of talking to do. Can you please get us Jimmy John's because I'm not stopping to eat and I'm already starving? I was like, seriously, what the F? But avoided the temptation to get into it with her on the phone, which I'm glad of. I got her sandwich, she got home an hour later, we put our son to bed, and then got into it. As best as I can, this is her side of the story. Gina, the photographer, had mentioned that if my wife was interested, she would love to see how she shot with another friend of hers who was a guy. My wife, her name is Nikki, said that she was not at all interested because she was nervous enough about the boudoir and fitness gear. She arrived, had a glass of wine, relaxed, did the makeup, and she had a great time during the shoot. And Nikki is the one who suggested she would like to do the full nude stuff. So they did that. It went really well, and the conversation came up that maybe she'd like to try shooting with the male model.
Okay, so let's see. You said no. You had some alcohol in your system. You got to stop with the drinking. You got to stop. Like, I get it. I swear, people really need to stop. There are certain types of people that classify as to what I like to call therapy babies. And it's always the people that need some alcohol in their system to do anything. I get that you're nervous, but I mean, like, damn, there's other ways besides alcohol. The drunk actions are sober thoughts. Oh, but she's not drunk. Drunk. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. She said no the first time, and then eventually 180 after the wine gets in her system. I'm just saying, you ain't gotta be drunk to have drunk thoughts. Remember, drunk outbursts and actions are sober thoughts.
Nikki swears to me that he was not present, but Gina was able to call him and he was able to be there in an hour. Nikki says it was a huge mistake not to call me, but she said she was so in the moment that she didn't consider all the ramifications. So the dude shows up. He's 22, 6'3", amazing build and blah blah blah. But Nikki says he was an absolute professional. So much so that all the fun stuff she was having with the solo stuff went out the window because the guy was like literally just a living mannequin. When she was shooting solo, there was dancing, laughing, jokes. But with the guy, it was like, put your hand here, hold, repeat. I said I saw some of the pictures and it didn't look like that at all. She said that there are probably also a few hundred of her looking absolutely terrified and ashamed that didn't make it into the proofs. At this point, I demanded to see all of the pictures. Nikki logged into the secure site and there were 10 or so more past the original 50, and basically it went like a sequence from the guy pulling the underwear off with his teeth to her turning over, spreading her legs, and ending with a shoot of them from the side looking like he was taking her in the missionary position. I asked her to promise me there weren't more, and it didn't go any further than that. She said it didn't, that the guy never even took off his underwear. I asked if it turned her on. She said in a physical sense of feeling skin on skin, it did turn her on. But on an emotional level, she was terrified of what I would think, and it was so businesslike, there was nothing organic happening at all. I told her this was all so fishy because the shoot happened a while back. She's had almost 6 weeks to tell me, maybe more.
6 weeks? Bitch, you had 6 weeks to tell the truth and you've been lying through your... Oh my God. No. I'd have had divorce papers on the table and my fucking wedding ring thrown in her face. Just 6 whole weeks. That's a month and a half. You let that shit go by for like a month and a half, dude.
She says that she just couldn't find the words, but was really working on it. The thing that's sort of gross is that our sex life has been amazing, and I think the correlation is about when the shoot happened.
I can tell you this right now, when the sex life start getting good after some shit like that, it's usually because the chick hiding some shit. Some women get turned on by that shit. Like textbook definition, like cake eater affairs. Like people who have like cake eater affairs, they get off 5 stars on that shit.
I had attributed it more towards our son finally sleeping more than 3 hours at a time, but now I'm not sure. Part of me thinks she was seriously turned on by the whole thing and took that out on me.
Nah, for real.
I told her I wanted her to swear to me that she doesn't know this guy from prior, hasn't kept in touch with him since, and has no plans in the future. She said the guy actually brought his girlfriend with him to the shoot, and she was a gorgeous volleyball player for the local university, and she's pretty sure that he's not trading a 6'1" voluptuous volleyball player for a 30-year-old mother with a 13-month-old.
Okay, okay, this already complicates things as it is. That's number one. But what you call it? First things first. Respect to the dude. Respect for the dude. You ever seen female volleyball players? Shit, like I swear to Christ, you like female volleyball college volleyball team. Girls college volleyball players dead ass be looking like they could all cosplay as She-Hulk. Oh, I shit you the hell not. Whew. So I mean, respect to the man. I ain't even mad at him. I ain't even mad at him. He winning. I'm trying to be like him when I grow up. But back to the main problem. Why didn't why didn't why didn't what's her face? Gina, the photographer, the 60-year-old photographer, have this dude and his girlfriend do the couple stuff. And then just had Nikki do the freaking solo shit. That 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 screams a lot of problems. Also, so as fair as this composition is, there are some dudes who fuck up. Like let's just be realistic. We've all met those dudes who cheat on their girlfriends, and they got like the perfect girlfriend. Like what you got? She cooks, she clean. They got the dudes will be having the perfect girlfriend or wife, and then just literally out there cheating on them just because the option available to them. And it's like she cooks, she cleans, she know how to take care of the kid. She's a 10 out of 10 knockout, but she's humble and shit like that. And I swear to Christ, they'll just do that for like that one coworker at the fucking job who's got like 3 kids and is a raging bitch to her husband. I just want to point that one out. Like, let's just keep the realism active. And it's not helping her case in that situation, bringing up that argument. It's a solid argument, but given her actions, I wouldn't listen to shit.
I asked if the girlfriend actually watched the shoot. Nikki said the girl was in the room but sat and scrolled through her phone and seemed bored by the whole thing. I asked who else was in the room, and she said it was just Gina and her assistant who held lights and such. After some surfing around Gina's main site and finding other things the guy had done for her, we were able to find his name and Facebook page, and he's a college student and certainly does appear to be dating a very attractive college volleyball player.
Okay.
I asked what Gina was going to do with those pictures because to me it was crazy that Nikki was initially hesitant to even take the boudoir shots because of people seeing her, to taking what essentially appears to be softcore in less than a week. She said that Gina had no plans for the pictures at all, that they aren't getting posted anywhere. They were just done as test shots since Gina is getting back into boudoir and couple photo shoots, and the male model owed her a favor, so it was a great time to practice.
Again, get the dude's fucking girlfriend. He brought her with him. What was so hard about that? That argument alone is asinine because it just goes back to what I just said. Oh my god, this is horrendous.
I asked why not ask me to do it. She said she didn't have a good answer for that. I asked, obviously Gina already made one huge mistake sending them to me or uploading them to my private proof page. How do we know she's not going to make another huge mistake and send them to the wrong person and or forget that these were just practice and sell them to someone? Nikki said that we are just going to have to trust her. I told her that I was having a really hard time trusting anyone at the moment and I'd need more than that. Nikki said we could talk to Gina. I said if she was willing to pay a lawyer to drop a contract to keep Gina to her word, and she said she would. Then we got into why the secrecy. She said that she felt so guilty after the whole thing that she had no idea how to tell me, and she knew she was going to see her family this week, so she had hoped to put off the subject.
So basically, the sex was love bombing. Yep. That's typical shit. She made, whether she cheated or not, this is 5-star cheater behavior. The only thing that's missing is the narcissism.
I asked her how she found out I knew. She said Gina had called her late Wednesday confessing that she had really screwed up. Nikki claims at this point she went into panic mode and pretty much was either crying or clamming up around everyone because she felt so ashamed. I told her how much the silence almost destroyed me, and she started crying and said she was so sorry for the whole thing and
Okay, let's be real. It's 2024. Baby girl, cut the bullshit ass crying. Dudes ain't buying it no more. You knew your actions was fucked up. You knew your actions was fucked up. Stop reverting to that of a toddler. Okay, if you was sorry, you'd like. I could see if you like. See, this is the equivalent of. This is almost the equivalent of having a borderline affair. Damn near. The only thing that was, and again, the only thing is missing is the narcissism. But I've seen like multiple videos where it's like, okay, the wife's cheating. She's having a full blown affair with her coworker, her boss, or the guy's best friend, or some shit for like months, weeks, days, years, even. The kids ain't even his type shit. And then it's just like what you call it. And it's just like what you call it call it. You crying when all this time has passed is not going to work on him, because it's like, okay, you didn't have a problem. You wasn't crying when you did that shit the first time, so you kept on doing it again and again. So you must enjoy hurting me. So I mean, I'm not buying the tears then and there. Versus like somebody who cheated, and then as soon as they actually like, versus somebody who got like drunk and then cheated on their significant other, and then it's like they actually went to go confess, and then they start confess like right then and there. They called or texted and said, "Hey, we need to talk. Something critical just happened, and I fucked up, so on and so forth." Right. Then I could see the vision for why you're crying. It's like, okay, cool. You know, most likely the shit's over, but at least you're having the gall to confront me about that shit front and center. Versus what this is right now. That's my whole thought process on it. This shit ain't cute.
she knew she screwed up and basically begged me not to leave her, that she still had more love for me than she had anyone. I told her I
Yeah.
believed that she loved me, believed that she was acknowledging her mistake, but that I felt like uber disrespected and emasculated by the whole thing. She said she could appreciate that and would do whatever she could to make it up to me. I told her I just wasn't sure what that meant yet. She started crying again and begged me not to make any rash decisions about leaving her. I said if she promised me she was telling the truth, and it seems like she was, then I'm not leaving her, but I'm not sure what normal will be for us now. She said she'd be willing to do whatever it takes or wait however long for me to figure it out.
It oh yeah, like what you call it? He's just sitting there like, look, I'm not leaving you yet, but I mean, like, bitch, let's keep it $150. You sleeping on the couch for the next couple of months to a year. Get accustomed to sleeping on that couch.
So that's where we are at. Our son woke up since his sleep schedule is messed up from the drive, so she's standing to him and I'm writing this. I guess aside from the lie of omission about the whole thing, she's never been dishonest with me before, so I believe her about all the details. I
Bruh, she's
mean,
never been
they seem
dishonest with you
so
before that
crazy
you
as
know
to be
of.
true, and that a lie would be more like normal, if that makes any sense. But I still feel so gross about the whole thing. Another guy has touched my wife's breasts. My wife has felt another man's breath on her neck. And another guy has laid on top of her in several different positions. We can never be a.
I'm just saying, she can't say no in the bedroom. She can't say no in the bedroom. Whatever was off the table in the beginning stages of the marriage, she's gonna have to put that on the table now, and she cannot have any complaints. Like what you call it? If hubby was never getting any backdoor action, she's gonna have to start offering that shit. I'm just saying like. I don't understand, because a lot of women will sit here and do this kind of shit and they won't think about the after. It's a short term high, and they really do have to work on that. But most importantly, the communication skills. Like homeboy would have not had a single problem with this if that was the case, or at the very least, if she just called him up and had him there too. I don't understand why, especially if Gina wanted to practice her couples and photo shoots thing. What was so hard about her fucking getting her husband involved in the photo shoot? That would have been more of a hot thing. Perfect bonding, so on and so forth. Or they could have hired a babysitter or sent the little one to mom and dad's.
Married couple that can say we haven't been intimate with other people. I mean, I get the professionalism of it all, but it still happened. I have to learn to live with that.
Nah, for real.
I don't know. That's the update. I don't know if there's more to say or not. Maybe there will be more. I don't know. I'm trying very hard to sort through my feelings and not having much luck. So that's the first update. What do you guys say? Do you believe Nikki or not? Let me know in the comment section. And now we're gonna go through a string of edits that leads to the final update. So let's continue. Opie's edit. It's about 6 a.m., a totally sleepless night. So based on comments, as soon as my wife is up, I'm going to 1. Ask to see her phone, 2. Tell her I'm contacting the girlfriend as she seems like the most neutral party who can verify some details, and 3. Independently contact Gina and ask to see every single photo that was taken that day. These are by far the most common responses. Edit 2. I heard my wife crying in the next room on the phone. I eavesdropped and obviously it was Gina. Nicole was telling her that she needed to come over or send all the pictures from the whole shoot and divorce was on the line and she had to do this. Gina is on her way out of town to shoot a wedding today, but we are rushing over so she can open the studio before she leaves so we can go through all the pictures. I told my wife I want to look at her phone on the way over. She said that was fine. She's packing up our son. We are taking our son to a studio where my wife was felt up in order to prove she didn't cheat on me. This has been the most effed up week of my life.
This is why a lot of female content creators that are against like feminism have been saying that public shame needs to come the fuck back. Like, dear God. Like, public shame truly does need to come back. Because low key on the high note, dude. Just like women, a lot of women who do this kind of shit really need to say this shit out loud. Like, say it out loud in front of a mirror, and then you'll just start realizing, oh wow, I look like a fucking idiot. Like, dead ass. You have to take your 1-year-old to a photo studio where you basically got felt up and butt booty ass naked to prove that you wasn't spreading them legs for another man. Like, baby girl, sit your ass down. That's your whole social life is done for the rest of this marriage. Like, no more girls' nights. And dude, I don't know. If I was the husband, I'd be like, no, cut all your female friends off. I'm choosing the friends because this outrageous. This 30 levels of outrageous right here. I can already hear the comments. Oh, you sound controlling. You sound like this. Okay, cool. This bitch want to make sure she can still keep her marriage. She didn't communicate. Hey, y'all women be big advocates of communication until it's time to actually talk about what the hell you was doing in the last 24 hours.
I can update later, but I'm worried this is as exhausting to everyone else as it is to me. Edit 3. I looked at my wife's phone on the way over to Gina's studio. Basically, on Wednesday at 6:30 p.m., there were 7 missed calls from Gina on my wife's phone. Gina also started a text conversation with her about that time that said, "Please call me, we really need to talk." I crossed that with my email to Gina, which said, "This is way more than I thought it was going to be," which I sent at about 6:15 p.m. that same day. If you remember, in those 15 minutes, I had tried to call my wife and she told me she was too busy to talk. I texted her I wanted to know what happened in the photo shoot. Apparently, in those 15 minutes, Nikki still thought I didn't know because she texted back, "Sexiness, you like?" So clearly, when Gina's texts started rolling in, she knew that I knew. So their conversation basically was Gina admitting that she mistakenly uploaded most of the pictures to my preview site as she was rushing to get proofs out. That I emailed her about the shoot not being what I thought it was, and that's when she contacted Nikki. Then Gina asked why didn't I know, and Nikki said she hadn't told me yet and wasn't planning on telling me yet. Then Gina asks what should she do, and Nikki says, "I don't know, he's going to effing flip out." That's when Gina suggested taking my login away, and Nikki agreed. Gina apologized for the F-up and suggests she talks to me, and Nikki says, "No, this better come from me, but I'm going to throw up. I don't know what to do." And that was pretty much the only communication between them. No other calls or anything. Gina texted her every day, "Are you okay?" type stuff, but Nick never responded. Nikki did text her that she was leaving Saturday morning, but nothing else. Okay, now we get an even better picture of what's going on. So now let's continue with the final update.
I mean, she pretty much made her bed with this shiz, and I'll give the husband credit. He's more patient with this woman than anybody else would be. Because let's be realistic, this conversation would not even be a thing. She'd have been a single mom, real lickety split over some stupid shit.
So then we got to the studio. Gina was rushing around like crazy because she was driving 2 hours away to do a wedding. I asked her to please talk to me about what she was thinking, so she took like 5 minutes and said that she was so sorry, that the thoughts just got away from her and Nikki was doing such an amazing job, it seemed like a great idea at the time.
I'm going to say this now. I'm going to say this now from my perspective. I am a content creator. I run a voice acting team. I edit, direct, produce all my videos, so on and so forth. I do it all by myself. If someone says they are uncomfortable, as much as, like, this has always been my number one mantra. If someone says they're uncomfortable doing a scene, I make sure to get rid of it, because otherwise that person will not want to work for me again. I don't understand. That's been a big issue with like a lot of today's modern technology, especially like today's modern content creators and shit. None of them can take the word no. It's one thing if you can't take the word no. It's another thing when you force somebody to do something that they don't want to do.
I was at a loss for words, so I didn't ask any more questions. Gina set us up on her main computer and opened the file folder of every single one of Nikki's pictures from that day, including the ones not included in the proofs. I think it was exactly 1,213 pictures from everything. I scrolled through every image and got to the couple's shoots. I could very clearly tell that the mood had changed in the throwaway pictures from solo to couple. In all of the solo shoots, Nick was smiling and laughing and having a good time, even if the pic didn't turn out. But in the couple shots, I could clearly see that she was nervous. She wasn't having fun. She had that same timid, almost annoyed face I've seen on her a million times.
Bitch, why didn't you leave? That's the problem I'm having. Oh yeah, no, I was actually annoyed. I'm like, bitch, if that was the case, why didn't you just walk away? What was so hard about just walking the other direction?
I'd say in the couples section, it took 10 pictures to come up with one that looked halfway decent where her face didn't look like she was being interrogated. And it got worse as she was more and more undressed. You can clearly see that she has a look of genuine disgust when the guy touches her breasts, and it takes a long time for her to make those shots work. There's also a little interlude where I guess Nikki went into the dressing room to compose herself, so Gina took similar shots of the guy with his girlfriend, but...
You see what the fuck I'm talking about though? Guy brings his girlfriend. Do the couple shots with the girlfriend. I don't get it.
But she was dressed, and it's very obvious that they both have experience doing this sort of thing. You can also see that when Nick is coming out of the dressing room, Gina took pictures of her alone, trying to get the spark back from the solo stuff. And in those pics, you can see the girlfriend in the background looked bored as crap on her phone. After the break, Nikki seemed to be a little bit more relaxed, and that's where they go into him lying down on her back, which goes into the teeth thing and into the very suggestive stuff where it appears he's initiating sex. It takes an abrupt end, and then there are about a dozen shots of everyone who was present doing things like flipping the camera off, sticking their tongues out, and that sort of thing. The weirdest one is of Nikki in a bathrobe and the girlfriend both hugging the model with smiles on their faces. She says she asked for that one because it just seemed like a cute shot for everyone to say, we're all cool with each other. I was very careful to check the sequencing of the pictures. Gina has them all numerically titled with date, a code for customer and location, then the series number. And there wasn't a single picture missing. And it would have been an epic undertaking for Gina to rename 1,000 pictures to eliminate ones that were worse than what I already saw, so I'm 99% convinced I saw everything. So now more than ever, I'm convinced my wife is telling me the truth about what actually happened. I don't think there was cheating or sex. Lots of people would consider what happened to be cheating. I think it was professional. I think it was a spur of the moment when
So I'm going to explain why, as somebody who actually believes that this is cheating, I'm going to explain why. It's the lack of communication, the fact that she still went and did it, even though she knew that you wouldn't be okay with it. You did not give the husband a choice on the matter. You took the matter into your own hands. That's number one. Number two, no, you don't let another dude fill you up. Come on, the teeth on your thong and type shit. Come on, bruh. Just no. Walk away. What is so? Where I swear, a lot of women in today's society, when they get into relationships, they get too comfortable. They get too comfortable and complacent. Because I mean, like, damn. Oh, it's not cheating, but my guy friend tried to force himself on me and kiss me, and I didn't resist. Okay, look, if that's not cheating, it's definitely sexual assault, baby girl. You could have walked away and stopped fucking with him, but you keep going back to this guy, so clearly you want to be with him. Otherwise, why are you telling me this a month later? Or why am I having to drag it out of you? Or why is it other people are telling me this stuff and not you? And here's the key thing. One of the biggest problems is that a lot of women will tend to get comfortable with the concept of waiting until their man is not in the room to do this stuff. They get extremely comfortable with that. Like, it starts off with, okay, I got away with this. What else can I get away with? I see it all the time. I've seen this shit one too many times. Is it every woman? No, but it's a vast majority in today's timeline. Might as well damn near say, oh, let's get in it there, because even the ones that don't do it are starting to coincide and agree with them.
and Nikki said she would like to try the couple's stuff. The girlfriend was definitely there, so I see no reason to drag her into this.
Yep.
The things I'm still so uncomfortable with are: 1. Would she have ever really told me had Gina not accidentally shown me those pictures?
No. Nope. I'll tell you why. So many women who know that so many women think, oh, this might be cheating. It is cheating. If you have to go behind your significant other's back, it's cheating. Point blank. Period. This is like, I've had people ask me what are my thoughts on like emotional affairs, and I sit here and I say those things are bullshit. Absolute bullshit. It's not even an emotional affair. It's just an affair. Your intention is to talk with this person. You're talking about leaving the person you married or are dating for the other guy that you're talking to. That's a fucking affair. I don't care if it hasn't gone physical. Yeah, you're planning on sleeping with him once you get rid of me. Like, what what else is needed? I shouldn't have to wait for you to prove that shit. Expect the trust, but the trust is getting there. Also, yeah, 6 freaking weeks. Like, a lot of women who do this kind of shit, they're going to take that shit to the grave. A woman could sleep with her husband's brother, get pregnant, and the kid will not be her husband's. It will be the brother's. The brother could die in a tragic car accident. She will take that shit to the fucking grave, and then still be wondering why her husband will divorce her when he finds that shit out on his own.
2. Why 6 freaking weeks? 3. I think my wife was uncomfortable at the moment, but I think the girlfriend was definitely there, so I see no reason to drag her into this. The things random. I'm still so uncomfortable with are: 1. Would she have ever really told me had Gina not accidentally shown me those pictures? 2. Why 6 freaking weeks? 3. I think my wife was uncomfortable at the moment, but I think reflection allowed her to realize that she actually really enjoyed the experience. I'm more convinced of this than ever with that shot of her with a huge smile where she and the girlfriend almost look like they are members of a burgeoning harem dedicated to Hot Abs McCool. And 4, but having said that, I don't think she was embarrassed by initiating the shoot, and she was very scared what my reaction was going to be. But it says a lot that she didn't trust me to tell me. I guess I'm glad I got to see the pictures. I'm not leaving her or divorcing her based on what I know now. Part of me is very happy for her that she had a good time. I'm not like the fun police or anything, but I still feel overall terrible about
This right here. There is nothing wrong with setting boundaries, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies, specifically, if your man is setting boundaries in the relationship, just follow them. What are you so defensive for? What's the harm in it? Because let's be realistic. Almost every woman is a five-star attention seeker. Almost every woman is a five-star attention seeker. Matter of fact, I won't even say almost. It is every woman. Because if you get in a relationship, you're gonna want that person to pay attention to you at all times of the hour. Look at the behavioral pattern. Almost any woman that he talks to is a potential threat to your relationship in one way or the other. And it could be his sister, and he was literally just talking about you religiously in a good way, saying, "I can't wait for you and mom to meet this girl. I'm probably planning on marrying this woman one day. Hopefully, it gets to that point." Sorry, I was putting something up, and I shit you not, y'all will fuck it up because you get so jealous and not even willing to hear your man out. Versus when he has boundaries, the guy has boundaries. They're stable boundaries. No, stop trying to hang around with your friend, with your guy friends. They're obviously trying to screw you. Like they're trying to get in your panties. Like I don't understand what's so hard about that. I'm a guy. You have brothers. Like there should be no excuse for this. Yeah, like I guarantee you, if it's such a normal thing, go tell your brother what you're doing behind your husband's back. I guarantee you he's going to sit there. You know, I guarantee you he's going to start saying, "I hope that your husband divorces you quickly." Like don't even fight the divorce. Let that happen. Be amicable. Well, because no man's hearing that BS. Okay, no man's hearing that BS. The most dudes like boundaries are rock solid shit. Like, okay, look, no girls nights. Yo, homegirls is single and they skulking for some wang. You need to come bring your ass home. Like, if you really want to hang around your girls, bring them to the crib, and you can have some booze there for them to drink, and they can chill. And I'll leave the house for a couple hours. They ain't allowed to bring their dudes up in my crib. I don't get it. There's compromises that men always make for the woman, but women are unable to make compromises for their man. And the dude will bend over backward for you. So that's the problem I be having.
the whole thing. Well, that is all the information we've got and everything I could find regarding this story. So, OP, I agree with you. I think this was a professional photo shoot and your wife wasn't comfortable with the couple stuff and all that thing. My only reservation is that she didn't tell you and she waited to tell you. I've said in many other videos that I believe that communication is key for relationships to thrive. And I think in this case your wife dropped the ball, but it's not something to get a divorce over. So at this point I'm gonna say thank you for sharing all of this and all the best to the both of you in the future.
It's not worth filing divorce over. I can agree with Lost Genre on that. It's not worth filing divorce over, but homeboy need to file for separation. Shawty got to learn from her mistakes. She got to learn that it's not okay to do this shit because she gonna get too comfortable and try to do it again. Like, dude, the separation would literally make her like sit here and think, okay, no, next time I'm gonna just talk. I don't care if it's supposed to be a secret. Like, women and secrets in today's society are a bad mixture of things. I like what you call it, just some space for her to think about her actions. Make her leave the crib for a minute. She could take the kid with her, but she got to think, okay, damn, I put myself in this situation all because I want to be ignorant. But if that's not the case, because some people want to deem shit too harsh when really it's not, she fucked up in the relationship. Seriously, that's another key thing. Women got to stop trying to rush to the aid of a woman who's royally fucked up in the relationship. Because if a guy did any of this shit, crucifix, he'd be on a crucifix like Jesus. I'm just saying. But other than that, that's going to be enough of that, ladies and gents. I've had my fun. I've had my fill. But that's going to be it for the night. Hopefully you've enjoyed my little live stream / recording session. Other than that, I'm going to probably plan on doing this again in the near future. I'm going to set up a stream schedule and whatnot not so I can actually get this on and out the way. But until next time, this is the host who does the most, Lit like 96. And yeah, I'll see you guys around. Don't forget to like,